Last week you guys finally emerged from the Van Thamper Villa, where beneath the bowels of the villa you found a cavernous underground sewer system that Thalmara Van Thamper, one of the Grand Dukes of Baldur's Gate, was harboring devils. She had been building a Zariel worshipping cult for Lathander knows how long, and you guys discovered that she was in league with Thavius Krieg, the High Seer of Elturel, to accomplish who knows what goal, but you uncovered her being in league with Zariel and the Devils, and you believe you found enough evidence to give to Captain Lightheart for him to expose Thalmara and the Van Thampers for what they are, and the hand that they played in the attacks on the city. Although now it might not matter so much that Thalmara has been turned to a pile of ash beneath her villa by Zariel, who briefly arrived, answering the call of Thalmara and her followers, and punishing her for her failures as a cult leader. You all also know now that Thavius Krieg, the longtime High Overseer of Elturel for the last 50 years or so, was in fact a devil himself. And currently, the neighboring city of Elturel is without a leader. You guys are currently having a long rest in the barracks. Mavathor, you have settled into a cushiony chair in a corner of the barracks. The rest of you are up in your rooms. And why don't you make a perception check for me, Mavathor?
Will do.
You kind of have your feet up on a stool, and you're in a fairly deep slumber, and you kind of feel your feet kicked off of the stool, or as the stool's kind of pulled out from under your feet. You kind of wrench up in your cushiony chair a bit, and you see your cousin standing before you. He kind of pulls the stool towards him, and he loops a leg over the front of it and sits down in front of you. And you see Captain Lightheart. He kind of tilting his head at you, and Misty, the little white cat that roams around in here, kind of jumps up onto Captain Lightheart's lap, and he says, "Cousin, to what do I owe the pleasure of your presence in the barracks?"
Mavathor kind of blinks the sleepiness from his eyes and be like, yeah, I came here earlier with some people you might know. They go by Dolos, Sylvie, and Krayley.
Some of my new recruits. It's not the usual company you keep, Mavathor.
Indeed, but as it turns out, they needed my help and I needed theirs, but that's a story for another time. I actually came here to brief you on a situation that arose yesterday. But wait, what time is it?
It's enough time to where you would have gotten your long rest by now, so it's probably maybe 10 a.m.
Well, he'll sit up a little bit and say and start to, kind of go through the explanation of what had been going on these past couple of days, and just yesterday how after being rescued by the party, they managed to expose all of the goings-ons of the Van Thamper estate.
He listens to your accounts and he says, how exactly is it that you ended up locked in the cells of the Van Thamper estates?
Initially, I was working with them, mostly doing side jobs, things that need to be done here and there, but I didn't know of their true goals until it'd be 4 days ago by this point, and once I did learn of their true intentions, I was planning to make a report to you about this, but on my way here, I was apprehended by one of their devilish guards.
Captain Lightheart says, it's been some time since we've spoken to each other, Manathor. I know that we lead very different lives. Why was it I that you thought to come to?
You're the only one that I really thought about first. I mean, you're probably the person that would most likely believe me, first off, and second off, I feel you being a tiefling as well adds to the credibility of my report to a degree.
He says, well, I don't need to know what else you've been up to since the last time we've seen each other, but it says something that you would come to me with, this betrayal by the Van Thampers. Are you sure that it was, Zariel that you saw appear beneath her manor?
I don't know who else it could be, frankly. Gosh, she must have been 8, 9 feet tall, wings, a flaming halo. I think those all match the description of her pretty well.
Well, I suppose I'm glad that you made it out of there alive. I'm sure that my recruits will probably fill in the gaps that you may have left out of your story. Speaking of my recruits before they wake up, there is something I think that you and I should settle. There is a vile stench coming from the shield that you carry there by your seat.
Look over it and pick it up. Does it emit a strange scent to him at all?
No, Captain Lightheart is using his divine sense at the moment.
Oh, okay. I'll, pick it up and again, I found it in the Van Thamper estate. The creature that we know as Thavius Krieg was intent on interrogating it or twisting it to his whim.
You hear the shield's voice in your head. Lie to him. Don't let him take me away.
But for all we know, it was just a minor trinket.
He says, do you mind if I take a look? And he holds out his arms.
For what purpose, may I ask?
radiating from it so strong that I'm surprised that it's not burning a hole in the floor.
Hmm. I didn't even really notice. He'll bite the inside of his cheek and say, I don't know if I necessarily feel safe handing this over to you.
Safety being your concern, I wouldn't think that you would find that I would harm you, Mavathor. I simply want to take a look at your shield.
As he'll like turn the facing to it to show off the symbol of Asmodeus to him and say, as you can see, it's of religious significance to me.
You hear the shield in your head. Change the subject.
But that's aside from the point. I'm more concerned about not so much the shield, but the person who was interrogating it, or the thing. Thavius Krieg did turn out to be a devil that we killed. And gods only know what he's been doing in El Terrell all this time.
You see, make a persuasion check. You can make it with advantage. Captain Lightheart says, yes, you mentioned that he was there in your story, Mavathor. That's something that will have to be dealt with most certainly, but it's not my present concern. My present concern is the object you have there, that your hand is now very tightly clutching. Is something wrong, Mavathor?
No, I just don't think I should be liable to hand over a religious artifact to you.
Well, I could argue with you that I have more right to examine the shield than you do. If it is, in fact, a religious artifact, it should be brought to the proper place to be studied.
And not amongst the acolytes of the god?
I would have to say my position would not allow me to let such a thing fall into the hands of the acolytes of Asmodeus. The power coming off of that thing is immense.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say if I simply strolled into the church of Levanther and attempted to take one of their artifacts, simply stating it was out of a need for security?
I would say that it is quite unlikely that anyone would allow that, seeing as you did not earn the position to make such a claim.
And you make such a claim?
I have sworn to protect this city and its citizens, and such a thing could do quite a bit of damage in the wrong hands. I include a pair of those hands to be yours. I appreciate that you were going to come here and inform me of the Van Damper's misdeeds, but you admitted yourself you were working with them.
An admission that I'm not proud of, but at the same time, I had no idea what they were truly up to.
What do you plan on doing with it? I let you hold on to it for now?
Well, as it seems, if
What are your
we're,
pl- what are your what are your plans in general, Mavathor?
well, as it stands, seems like the next logical step would be to go to El Terrell to investigate it, to see what misdeeds Thieves Krieg had done there. So, by all accounts, the shield will be leaving the city of Baldur's Gate, and thus out of your jurisdiction.
Very
And for
well.
all you know, you may never see it again. Who knows?
Well, for the time being, I don't think I'm going to let you out of my sight, but
That's fine.
suppose I'm not going to pry it out of your hands.
No, that would might not turn out well for either of us.
He smiles at you. um, he says, well, I expect the others to be down soon. Did everyone return with you? Um,
No, there was another individual. I don't recall his name. The pale, sort of heavenly-looking individual. As a result of Zariel being summoned, she twisted and corrupted him into something else.
his smile goes kind of into a blank expression. He says, that is quite unfortunate. I didn't expect that my recruits would get into such powerful dangers.
I mean, I don't think any of us could have predicted that we would be seeing an archdevil right here in Baldur's Gate, let alone.
Well, you're welcome to make yourself at home here for now. I'm going to wait for the others to. Maybe I'll just go up and rouse them. Um, I'd like to hear what they have to say about this previous evening, and regardless, if you help them at all to escape your encounters with their lives, then I thank you, Mavathor.
I'll nod and say I might, or I would personally wait a little bit longer. They were pretty gravely injured during our encounter.
Very well, I'll let them awaken naturally when they do. I fear that I've asked much of them, and I haven't known them long. But, so far they've proven worthy of the tasks that I've set to them.
I was will smile and say, you may have feared what you put them through previously, but I think you fear more what you plan to put them through in the future.
Well, we're going to need more people like them in the coming days. Sylvie. Last night, you had a very terrible dream. Over and over again, you dreamt of the night that your family was murdered. And as you awaken in your room, there is a wilted rose on your nightstand. And burned into the wood, uh, beneath your kind of instrument and some of your other things there beside your bed, it says, "Today you will join your family."
I immediately get up and run into Crayleigh's room. Crayleigh, you have to see this. And then I bring him into my room and I show him the carving on the little dresser thing.
I guess I'm confused. What does this mean?
Remember that tiefling that I told you about murdered my family and has been like testing me all these years? I think this has to do with her.
Do you think she left the message?
Possibly.
How did she get in here? Or who got in here?
I don't know. I was having all of these nightmares about my family dying over and over again, and then I woke up and I saw this and the wilting rose, and
Are you okay?
physically I'm fine. Mentally, all sorts of screwed up.
That's a lot of shit to go through in one night. I'm just gonna check the windows, see if anything, looks like it was tampered with.
Yeah, you could make an investigation check, I suppose.
Okay.
You know, the windows of the barracks are kind of like these triangular portcullises that are kind of just open air, like there's no glass or anything. The windows themselves are large enough that, you know, a medium-sized humanoid could climb through. There's no visible physical evidence on the window that anyone came in or out, though.
All I can say is she's a warlock and a powerful one at that. So it's possible she used some kind of spell to do this, to try and scare me, but I don't know.
But she's the one you've been hunting. Are you wanting to face her? Or do you think now is the time to avoid her?
You know, for the longest time, all I wanted to do was face her. But now I have people I actually care about. And after Tanawak and Bernard, look, I know it comes with part of the job, but going after somebody who's my responsibility and putting you guys potentially through that danger too, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
Sylvie, after last night, I'm sure you know, I really a lot of this death, I really don't want to lose anybody else. And I don't want to lose you, Sylvie. If she shows up or tries to come after you, I will stand by you.
Appreciate that, Crayley. I
Of
just
course.
don't know if I can ask that of you.
You don't need to ask. It's something I would do.
Thank you. I do the same for you.
Thank you. I offer a hug.
I give in. Then I pull out my pan flute and I play the little tune that summons my sister.
Nothing happens.
Damn it, it won't work.
Everything.
This is how I usually summon my sister. I was gonna see if maybe, I don't know, we could speak to your mom or, no. I wanted to try to give you some closure for that, but it's not working right now. I just kind of toss it gently on the bed.
Make
Sylvie,
an
that's so
make an
sweet.
investigation check. Sylvie.
Okay. Oh, come on. You being slow. Okay. 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 You said investigation, right?
Yeah. Investigation or insight, either one. You gently toss the pan flute onto the bed. But then you start looking through your other things, and you kind of realize that ever since you arrived in Baldur's Gate and you saved that other family from the same fate as your own, and you started letting new people into your life, not living it all on your own. That coin that Larissa had dropped so long ago and left behind, that had been cold all these years, that became warm that day you saved that family. That big silver coin with the symbol of ball on it is missing.
The coin. Crayley, have you seen a coin of ball anywhere?
I'll quickly scan the room. No, I haven't seen that. Or that coin at all. What is it?
I think it's hers. It's like the only thing I have left of that night, and I need to get it back. I don't know where it went. And then I run down the stairs and start frantically searching everywhere for it.
I'll follow her down.
The two of you see Captain Lightheart and Mavithor down there having a conversation. You start turning the room over, Sylvie, and you can't find the coin anywhere. Captain Lightheart says, "Hey, you two, what's going on? What are you looking for?"
Have you seen a coin of ball anywhere? That I kind of describe to him how it looks.
He says, "No, I haven't seen anything like that laying around. He kind of begins to walk around the room, slowly kind of pacing around the edges. He says, I don't sense anything evil either. And he kind of looks over at Mabithor. But the thing that you described sounds somewhat familiar to me. And he goes over to his things and he pulls out his book that you often see him writing in, and that he's shown you like images of Zariel in before and stuff. And he flips to like that section of about Zariel and flips a few pages, and he shows you a hand-drawn image of a coin, much like what you described. He says, it sounds like what you're describing, though, is something called a soul coin.
What does it do?
That depends on who you ask, I suppose. But many say that it is a currency used in the Nine Hells. Something highly valued by devils.
But that isn't currency to me. That's like the only thing I have left that connects me to my sister.
Well, it said that these coins have their name for a reason. The souls of mortals are often bound to them. That's what makes them valuable to devils.
Really, do you think it's possible that Zariel took it? Somehow, when she left?
You know you had it last night when you returned to the barracks, Sylvie.
As much as I don't want to, that coin is the only thing I have left of my sister, Krayley.
We'll find it.
I might actually have to face her. If she broke into my room, she took it.
Why would she take it? Why would she risk showing up here to just take that?
It's like the living embodiment of chaos. All she wants to do is cause trouble and mayhem and make others suffer, I guess. That's all she's really been doing to me since I was like 5.
I'll do whatever I can to help you find it, Sylvie, and find her.
Thanks, Krayley.
Captain Lightheart says, I'm sorry to ask, Sylvie, but do you want to tell me a bit more about what's going on? If you're in trouble, I can help you.
Actually, maybe it's better if I tell everyone.
Well, perhaps Dolos will be down soon then. Captain Lightheart looks over to you, Krayley, and he says, how are you feeling, Krayley? Your mother's funeral is planned for today.
Last night I blew up a little bit with my fellow friends here. The stress of death and seeing loved ones and friends lose their opportunity at life started to get to me. Today, I'm just trying to keep an even tone and emotion. But I am ready to lay my mom to rest later.
Well, I've spoken with your Dorinda, and everything's been arranged. Your mother Samantha's sister has arrived as well today, and she's going to attend, as well as many of the others that knew her out in Southfoot. And, well, the Raven Guard is going to be there as well.
I'm glad that a lot of people will be there.
He's asked me to ask you if it's okay if he speaks there.
I don't see why not, as long as it's tasteful.
I promise that he'll make time to speak with you as well.
Okay. Thank you for the heads up.
The other's going to attend.
I don't think I formally invited anybody, but once everybody's down here, I will open that invitation. I trust these people.
You can count on me going, Graylee.
Thank you, Sylvie. And Mavathor, you may be new, but you were there fighting alongside us. You are welcome.
I don't think it would be appropriate for me to come. If anything, I might be helping the Flaming Fists, and they're turning over the Van Thamper estate.
I understand you. You do as you wish, but the invitation stands.
Abathor is going to be assisting me for the next few days in some of my tasks, so he will be in attendance.
Abathor thinks for a moment, but and then he mentally tries to talk to the shield and ask it if it noticed anything unusual last night, specifically pertaining to some invisible individual coming in and stealing what was Sylvie's.
The shield says, yes, I did sense the presence of a deliciously vile creature enter the barracks last night. She didn't stay long.
Any idea which way she went?
No, I could just feel her presence while she was here. She almost came down and slit your throat. But I used my willpower to push her away.
Oh, how considerate of you.
Someone has to carry me to El Durrell. It's certainly not going to be him. Referring to Captain Lightheart.
Avatar will stand up and say, yes, that's correct. I'll be helping Captain Lightheart with his investigation so we can form as airtight a case to present as possible.
Just don't agitate him, and we'll find our moment, Mavathor. I fear if he gets his hands on me, I'll never see the light of day again.
He'll safely tuck the shield into his back.
Delos You kind of wake up in your room. You hear Thirstwell, like, sitting at the bedside table. He's got a couple of Tanawak's objects that you took with you out on the tabletop, and he's kind of like tinkering with them.
There's well. Did you get any sleep last night?
Well, I can never get to more than a few hours, Dolos.
I know, but you should try one day. It would do good for your health.
Well, perhaps. Maybe, not living under Mother's roof will allow me to calm down, but for now it's all so recent. I don't know where I'm going to stay anyways.
Well, you can have my bed for as long as you want it. I can sleep on the floor, no problem.
I don't know if this is the right place for me either, but as long as Amric's out there, it's probably the safest.
I would have to agree. And what are you doing, tinkering with, I might say?
He says, well, I've detected some latent magic in these objects. I was hoping I could adjust them to suit your needs a little better. I think I'm almost done here. And you see him, like, finishing the etching of an arcane rune in the side of Tanawak's crown. He says, just a moment. There. And he kind of hands it over to you.
Dolos takes it in his hand and just like, what did you do, if you don't mind me asking? I thought all of Tanawak's magic kind of died with him.
Well, that's the thing about magical artifacts or objects, Dolos. They don't lose their magic when their owner ceases to live any longer. They carry their magic on. These objects didn't...
Go ahead.
These objects didn't, keep any of Tanawak's personal soul or anything in them. They were already magical to begin with.
Well, thank you. I hope. Well, Tanawak was a good man. Maybe some of that goodness will wash onto me a little. But I do think we should head downstairs. I'm hearing some sort of commotion, and knowing these people, I'm sure something's up. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh no.
I can't hear you. I see your mouth moving, but I don't hear anything. Oh no.
I put a curse on the stream.
Am I coming in now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
you hear, Thirstwell says, are you sure it's alright? I hear a lot of voices down there.
Well, if I'm gonna go down maskless, I would like you to at least accompany me. And I'm sure they'll be fine with it.
I'm still a Van Thamper, in light of what Mother's been up to.
But you're not. But you're not like the others, obviously. And
Innocent until
they're
proven
good
guilty, I suppose.
people. Exactly.
He says, all right. Um, and the two of you head downstairs.
So what happened now, guys?
I haven't been completely honest with any of you. I may have accidentally put you guys in danger by not telling you about a little piece of my past. So this tiefling that Lightheart mentioned a few days ago, she's a big part of my past. She killed my entire family in front of me and has been tormenting me ever since. And I've just now found out that she took my sister's soul, apparently, and put it into something called a soul coin, which apparently is currency in the Nine Hells. And I think she broke in last night and stole it, and she carved a weird saying on my desk and then left a wilted rose. And I'm freaking out, and I've never freaked out before in my life. I need to get it back. She's just fully freaking out.
And Krayley, go grab a glass of water and bring it to Sylvie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
In hearing this,
You
Captain...
just down it.
In hearing this, Captain Lightheart says, well, considering the events that we're all going to attend later today, at least for now, it sounds like the safest thing for you to do, Sylvie, is remain close to your friends. If this Larissa intends to follow through with her threat, then we'll be here beside you. We won't let anything
I appreciate
happen to you.
that. Just don't go out of your way to, try and protect me. I don't want any of you stupid things to get yourselves killed. So whether you guys
Well,
think it or not, I do care about you.
We
Captain
care about
Light-
you too, Sylvie.
Captain Lightheart says, well, I'm sorry, Sylvie, whether you like it or not, and whether you meant to or not, you've already gone out of your way for the people of Baldur's Gate. I and this city owe you thanks, and we will not abandon you in your time of need.
I appreciate that.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about in character?
Yes. I did have a question for Captain Lightheart. Captain Lightheart, I did have a question.
Of course, Krayley.
Were you ever able to locate Tangashuan, the pottery maker in Baldur's Gate?
I did find out that he used to practice his craft in a small, modest shop at the outskirts of Little Kalimshan. Uh, 2 years ago, for reasons I could not discover, he migrated to El Turel. I have not yet been able to travel there, seeing as I've been busy here in Baldur's Gate. But Older Raven Guard soon plans to make a journey to Elturel, seeing as it's now without a leader, and speak to the people there. Older had planned to sign a treaty with Thavius Krieg in hopes of ushering in a new peace between our two cities, and now that Thavius is gone, a new leader will have to be appointed, and Elturel will need some guidance. So, in a few days, Mulder will travel there, and I'll be able to follow the lead. Perhaps if you'd all like, you'd be able to journey with us. To have a look at the Holy City.
I think that would be a good idea. Good way to perhaps prune any edges of Zariel's plans.
Yes, Zariel's presence in the city is disturbing at the very least, but I can't say that it doesn't make sense. Someone had to have been behind all of the recent events here, and it had to have been someone with great influence and power. It does not surprise me that it is an archdevil that has been behind all the mayhem. But now that it's been uncovered, at least we can start to make plans on what to do about it.
Reed, and that reminds me, Dolos.
Yes,
Thirstwell.
fairly.
I've already slightly discussed with the group while you guys were upstairs, but I do wish to extend an invitation to my mother's ceremony today. You guys are welcome, of course.
Would you like to go as well?
Thirstwell says, it would be rude of you to turn down your friend's invitation, Graydon. I know that you're not always best at picking up on social cues, but it is not a small thing for someone to invite you to such an intimate gathering.
Well, I would gladly accept, Chris.
Thank you,
We've,
Dolos.
We both experienced loss, with Mother gone now and Mortlock, but perhaps that loss is for the better. Personally, I would like to start being part of things that matter a little more.
I would have to agree. Which does remind me of something. A day or two ago, when I first met all of you, I was not completely honest. I lied about who I was. I have never worked for Older Raven Guard. I never did any of that. I have been working with the Van Thampers and under Thalmara's leadership for many years now. I was essential in the plots to kidnap Thaddeus Creek, and I posed as him to get into the high halls, and I was there when they were attacked. I ran for safety, and by chance, I met all of you. So, with Alder being there, I will hide my identity to keep some sort of protection. But if things do go awry, and if I am to be arrested, know that I will go peacefully. Things have been hard, and I wish to not have any sort of problems. As Crayley said, we have to fight the good fights.
Nolos,
Is
we all have dark things that we have in our past that we don't really like to share. And I have to say, I'm really glad that you were able to come forth and tell us that. And I can't speak for everyone else, but I know for me, I'll do my damnedest to make sure your identity is protected.
Thank you.
Captain Lightheart says, believe it or not, Dolos, I've known this whole time that you were not being completely forthcoming with who you were.
Why am I not surprised by that?
He says, I know better than you might think that a tiger can change his stripes, and I know one thing is certain. Older Raven God doesn't care about the shadows of a man's past. He only cares about bringing a brighter future to the people of Baldur's Gate. You've already taken a step in that direction, and you won't be punished for the sins that are behind you. You will, however, be judged for the actions you take moving forward. It's a new dawn, and you can be a part of something better, like your friend here has said.
Well, that sounds like as good as offer as any.
So I promise that no action will be taken against you for your part in the attacks against the city. But just know that you're being watched now.
Understood.
He looks at you, Crayley, and says, your mother has chosen a place for the funeral. I think it's a place that you know. It's a place that you and your mothers used to go picnic quite often. There's cliff sides here above the Church of Last Hope, overlooking the river. He says, the ceremony will begin an hour before sunset, so you guys have some time if there's anything in the city that you'd like to complete. Dorinda said that you can meet her at your home if you like and head to the funeral together.
Thank you for relaying that information.
Captain Lightheart says, oh, do any of you have any physical evidence you brought out of the Van Thampers? Or anything else that Mavathor might have left out about the story?
I mean, I still have all these masks. I lay out all the masks from like the little ritual that they were doing. And then I throw over the rope too.
Bellows
I
puts
don't
down
know.
the two legitimate business ledgers as well.
You have Thirstwell as a witness.
Hmm?
Captain Lightheart looks to Thirstwell. He says, you'd be willing to testify against the crimes your mother has committed against the city? Thirstwell, meekly shakes his head yes at Captain Lightheart. He says, it's always been best for me to stay out of Mother's way. But you might want to send somebody to search for Amric. He most certainly will want revenge for Mother's death. But of course I'd be happy to be of service in any way I can. Captain Lightheart seems satisfied with Thirstwell's answer. He says, do you know where Amric might be hiding? And Thirstwell says, I know that he spends much of his time when he's not at home at the Low Lantern. And Captain Lightheart says, I know of it. I'll have some men sent there to see if they can find him. Captain Lightheart looks at the rest of you and he says, I better make these reports to Ravengard. I will see you all later at the ceremonies.
Interesting.
He kind of tosses Misty onto the table countertop and leaves the barracks, leaving you all there. Before he heads out, he says, Avathor, make sure you don't go anywhere.
I wouldn't dream of it.
And he says, Misty's got her eye on you. And then he leaves. And you see the cat just sitting on the corner of the table, staring at you with its big yellow eyes.
He'll roll his eyes and he'll turn to Sylvie and say, for what it's worth, I do agree with your assessment. I believe I felt someone enter the barracks sometime last night. I couldn't tell you when or where they went. It's just a suspicion more than anything else.
Thank you.
Now there's a bit of time between now and the ceremony. Is there anything any of you would like to do in the city between now and then?
There a blacksmith anywhere?
Yeah, there's plenty of smiths in the city.
Okay. I'm gonna get this dagger fixed.
Ah.
Ceremonial dagger that I found.
What's it called again? What did I put in the chat?
Uh,
Uh,
Oh, I think I took the name away because it isn't identified yet, which is just stupid of me. Let me look that up real quick. Any other errands anyone would like to run?
I suppose it would be a good idea to liquidate all the stuff that we took from the estate. So the silver bars and the gold masks.
Yeah, all the stuff that has like just you can do it one of two ways. All the treasure that you guys have found, you could liquidate it all into just a pile of coin and distribute it, evenly amongst yourselves. Um, or you could just leave it as party loot for any group expenses that might come up. It's up to you guys.
I think party
I don't.
loot's kind of better.
yeah,
But yeah,
not as much math.
if you want to like just break it all down into like just a gold value, that's fine.
I did not write down the exact things that we hold.
I think I posted.
They're in the chat, I
Yeah,
think.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the chat.
I mean, if someone else did the math, that's cool with me.
Let's see. How many masks did you give, Lightheart?
Oh, I just threw them all at him.
Okay. We'll say maybe there was 5 of them, so that's like 125 extra GP. So, let's see. Out of the Van Thamper Villa. Your total is 100 plat and 925 gold. That's like the monetary value of all the stuff.
Awesome. Guys, we're rich.
Dagger. You find a smith. They easily put the dagger back together for you. Um, they charge you 20 gold for it.
Reasonable price. Hand it over.
It was a percentage based on their perceived value of the item. And okay, I found it. I don't remember if you guys determined if it was magical or not, but it is.
Oh, cool.
It's-
Could I use identify on it?
Yeah.
Okay, I cast identify. Can bring the load.
This dagger, is a +1 dagger. It is called Fang. It has a damage dice of 2d4.
Let's go.
And does I guess you just cast Identify on it, right?
Yeah.
Properties, how to use it, how many charges, spells affecting the item. Okay, you don't learn anything about the dagger except its properties. So okay, yeah, yeah, it does 2d4 +1 dagger. 2d4 is its damage dice. It says double the damage dice of a normal dagger.
Awesome.
And you know what? Why don't you roll a d100 for me?
Oh, okay. Interesting rolls. Oh my gosh. My computer being so glitchy. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
You know the bone hilted. It has like a bone hilt, and there's a gemstone at the end of the hilt that's kind of like a deep emerald color, and this. Once the blacksmith kind of like gets the dagger all put back together, you know, he like gets the blade slid back in, and he gets it all kind of pinned down properly. He kind of like puts a new pin that holds the blade in the hilt, and he gets it all hammered in correctly. It takes him a bit of time, but kind of when he finishes up and he gets it all fit together just right, and the blade's like solid in place. I don't know if the blacksmith notices this, but you do. You kind of see like there's a brief little magical flash of the runes that are along the blade, and there's like a very dim little mote of light that kind of appears inside of the hilt of the gem, and the dagger also gives you resistance to poison damage.
Okay. It doesn't require attunement, does it?
I would say that this item does, yeah. It's powerful enough for that.
Right. Good to know.
If you guys wanted to, we won't take too much time, like role-playing some of these errands, so we can get to some of the more fun stuff. But if you guys want to spend any of that gold, you have time to do that as well.
I just want to stock up on arrows and nets, if possible.
Yeah, did you want to buy any magical arrows or just some plain arrows?
Both. Depending on how expensive the magical arrows are.
I would say that you could buy a quiver of 20 magical arrows, like 20 plus 1 arrows for 200 gold, 10 gold per arrow. I'll Google it
A
real quick.
little pricey for me.
Yeah, the internet says they're a lot more expensive than that, so we'll call it 10 GP per arrow. I'm fine with that. You guys have party loot, so you can decide what you want to do with that. You know, um, you would know like between some of the encounters you've had that you've been fighting things that have been. Crayley would know this, that have been resistant to just your normal arrows, and you know you've all done the same amount of blood and tear shedding to acquire that coin. If you want to, you know,
I think I would still ask the group,
yeah,
as it is party loot.
yeah. I mean, you know, you guys have had a
yeah.
bit of time, you know, to talk about what you want to do with the coin and stuff.
Uh,
You don't have to buy. You could buy. They're 10 GP per arrow. You don't even have to buy 20 if you don't want to. You can buy them by the arrow.
I will feel comfortable buying 10 magical and then however many regular, I guess, that I can get.
You can get as many regular as you want. Those
Oh,
are
okay.
like 1 silver per arrow, maybe less.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm good. 100 gold pieces for the 10 magical.
You could actually even find a quiver of non-magical arrows in the basement of the barracks.
Okay.
You could just take.
I forgot about that.
Mavathor, there's a basement in the barracks that is like a small armory. There's like arrows, daggers, weapons on the wall, stuff like that.
Okay.
Could Sylvie stock out? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Could I get some magical arrows too?
Yeah, how many did you want to buy?
10.
Yeah, so just remove 200 gold from the party loot total.
Question.
Yeah.
Arrows for like a regular longbow, are those the same as like arrows for like a hand crossbow? Or are those different?
Bolts are
I would
different.
figure they're the same, but
Well, like
okay.
magical ones are going to be the same price. So like +1 bolts would be 10 gold also.
Okay. Because I imagine Dolus is trying to like buy like a hand crossbow and maybe like 5 magical bolts, if that's alright.
Yeah. You could get a hand crossbow from the barracks for no cost, but you could acquire some magical bolts for the same price as arrows.
Wonderful.
So if you're going for 10 as well, then that's another 100 gold. I feel like... Oh yeah, there's a party loot. 100p. Okay, somebody put it in there. Yeah, so just minus 300 gold from the party loot.
Yeah.
Any other of that cash you'd like to spend?
Health potions. I forgot
Yeah.
about health potions.
Oh, good one.
Yeah.
However much those might be.
A normal healing potion, 2d4 plus 2 is 50 gold. A greater healing potion, 44 is 100. And a superior, 48 is 500.
Pricey.
Yeah, healing potions are a little spendy. But that's what fantasy gold is for, you know?
Just blow,
Yep.
blow through it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so for like the ratios for like platinum to gold, it's 100 gold for 1 platinum, right? Per, like, 1 platinum?
10 gold for 1 platinum.
10 gold, okay.
Yeah. So 100 platinum is 1,000 gold.
Okay.
So you could just denominate that in gold. You know, you have 1625 gold. It's a little easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
Until you start getting up into the big numbers. But yeah, 100 PP is 1,000 GP. So you guys have a decent amount of gold. Is there a particular potency of healing potion you'd all like to purchase?
I feel like we should get at least some greater.
I would agree.
What do you guys think?
Agreed.
I mean, I know it's a little pricey, but
Well, you got to kind of think of it like, what's 100 gold compared to your life, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Yeah. So from the Silver Spire, I mean, they're stocked up, you know, so you could buy as many as you have the money for. If you wanted to start with just like 1 each, you know, that'd be 400, and go from there. But it's up to you guys. I'm not gonna, tell you what you should buy.
I say we do 1 each.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe get a few regular ones per person, like 2,
2 per person?
maybe,
Okay,
per person.
I can get behind that.
Yeah. Seems like a good mix.
You love
So
math.
that's 800 more gold. That's for 8 minor healing potions and 4 greater healing potions. That's 800 total gold.
Okay. Our lives are worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So you're down to 825 in the party loot.
Alright, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
We could
Oh, how much
briefly. Go ahead.
Nets? I'm sorry. How much were nets? I just wanted like a couple of nets.
I think nets are actually kind of a little more. I think they're like 5 gold in the player's handbook, but I could be wrong about that.
Okay. I mean, I'll buy 2 from my personal gold supply.
Oh, they're 1 GP. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I will buy 3.
You know, I think a net is kind of like a cumbersome object, but they're 3 pounds. So yeah, you could buy 3. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do 3. Okay.
Large or smaller creature hit by a net is restrained until it's freed. Yeah, so a net is big enough. You got to think of it like a net is big enough to restrain a large or smaller creature.
Let me do 1. Let me do 1. It does seem bigger than I was expecting.
So you could buy 3, hauling 3 nets around. You know, that's up to you. You might look a little goofy, but you could do it.
Nah, I'll just stick with 1.
Like you could put the other 2 in the basement or whatever, for later.
Nah, I'll just do 1 for now.
Okay,
1
sure.
seems.
You replace your net and what was the did anybody else I lost one of my sticky notes that I'd been writing names on. Does anybody have the name of the elf that was dealing with you guys at the
Oh,
Silver Spire.
oh,
It's
no.
like Elrond or something.
I know I called
Oh,
him
I wrote it down somewhere.
Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got a Dumbledore vibe. I bet it's in the chat. I
It's
tossed it.
Oh,
somewhere in
I
the
found
chat.
it. Okay. Dumbledore question mark. Actually, his name is Alandor.
Elandor,
That's what I
yeah,
wrote
yeah,
down.
Elandor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, do you guys have any useless magic objects? Like something that nobody's going
I
to use?
I have a spellcasting focus from a miracle coat cultist.
I mean, more like things like Tanawak's spear, stuff like that. Like any magical items you'd wish to exchange. I know you have Tanawak's spear, and you have a +1 glaive that you got from the demon left behind. So you guys could exchange those weapons at the Silver Spire for useful magical weapons if you wanted to. That's probably the last thing
I'm
to resolve.
I'm fine with that if you guys are.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are going to be using +1 glaive.
Is there any does anyone not have a magic weapon?
I do not.
Rayleigh, you should get a magical bow.
Oh, that'd be cool.
True. I was hoping to see if maybe my mom's bow is still lying around before purchasing something magical.
We can save that for later then.
Okay.
So you guys kind of get replenished. You meander about the city for a bit, running your errands and stuff. Why doesn't everybody make a perception check at disadvantage?
Oh no.
As you guys
Oh god.
mill about the city, it is a 21, 23. Mavathor, what have you kind of spent some of this time doing?
Mostly just helping out the others, seeing if you can't help them find what they're looking for, keeping his eye peeled for, anything that might catch his eye as far as like, something that'd be useful for a cleric.
Okay, well, you guys all rolled. Oh, disadvantage. Okay, so 20 is actually the best roll. Okay. Throughout the day, while you are milling about the city, Mavathor, with some of the others completing some of these errands, today in the city, it is especially foggy. Even as it gets into the early hours and middling hours of the afternoon, there's a thick fog rolling over the Siantar River, kind of completely obscuring all of the docks in the lower city. The streets in the lower city are thick with fog. There's dark cloud cover overhead. It's just not a very nice day.
Mhm.
As you guys are making your way through the city, kind of sticking together, there's 2 times while you're running your errands where there's this brief. You hear the shield in your mind, Mavathor, and it says, "There it is, that deliciously wicked presence. It's close." And then it like dissipates, like it's kind of following you all around.
Mm.
The shield says, it's gone, you know. And maybe two times throughout the couple hours you guys are making your way throughout the city, you feel it, and then it disappears.
Mm. All Mavthor and Sylvia are still, and he feels the presence. He'll kind of lean in and say to her, quietly, "I'd act normal. I believe we're being followed by the warlock you mentioned."
When he says that, I just very nonchalantly turn my head around, see if anyone's there.
Make another perception check with disadvantage.
Ah, God. Oh, this never works out well for me. All right. Stop lagging. I use my computer like this.
You turn around and you kind of peer into the fog, and all you can see is sort of the outlines of other shadowy figures moving through the city streets. But then you do see a single withered rose petal fall, like, in front of your face. And you kind of reach out to catch it, and it just kind of like, it's an illusion. It kind of falls through your hand and dissipates in a little kind of puff of black smoke.
Sylvie just tries to contain her anger, because now she's pissed, because this chick is now after her new family in a way. So right now she's just really trying to control her anger and keep it inside her, and try and prevent herself from just full out going crazy.
Yeah.
In this cloud of smoke.
You get the sense that Larissa is watching you, but seeing as you're all moving about the city together, completing your tasks before the funeral, maybe she doesn't feel that she has an appropriate time to make good on her promise she burned into your nightstand. And then, a couple more hours go by and there's no more sign of her presence. And it's getting closer. The day doesn't get any better. It's still kind of a dark cloud cover. Dreary day for a funeral ceremony, but you can't control the weather. And then together you all begin to make your way out to the outer city, out and around to Sow's Foot, to where Krayley's family home is. And we'll have our little mid-session break right here, so we'll take a 5 as you make your way home with your companions, Krayley.
All right.
So I'll see you all in 5 minutes.